All right. Hello, everyone, and now welcome to a game. This game is going to be between Starbuck and Happy, taking place here on Turtle Rock. We have Happy spawning as the blue undead on the bottom right-hand side of the map. Meanwhile, Starbuck has spawned as the yellow human on the top left, and it looks like he's going for a Tavern Hero. All right, so Tavern Hero coming out from Starbuck. No Altar of Kings yet. We'll see what that first building is going to be. It is going to be an Altar of Kings, followed by a Blacksmith. What is this? This may just end up being that Paladin opening that that we've seen so much of as of late. So that Paladin opening, keep track of and keep a look at everything going on here. Not quite sure. Starbucks seems to be trying to Sim City his way, make sure that everything is lined up properly and correctly. Got that extra little bit of lumber. It actually looked like he got a little bit too much lumber here, and is down on gold as units are just staggering and getting into position properly. Starbuck opening up with that Paladin opening. It is going to be a little bit delayed in terms of when his hero pops out. Since he does have to get that Blacksmith and everything else, there's no real reason to try and creep out earlier with a solo Paladin. Paladin just doesn't have enough firepower to clear out those creep camps. Meanwhile, back on the bottom side here, we do have a Death Knight getting trained up. And for all of you guys, I apologize. I'm still getting used to my Invisalign. Apparently, the formation of my teeth, they started to collapse a little bit, and that was part of the reasons why I had trouble breathing. I need to get Invisalign, and you're supposed to wear them 22 hours a day. So, yeah, since I cast such a large amount, and taking them in and out is such a big hassle, well, let me know if you guys see or hear anything that I need to work on, as I also hopefully will have interviews coming up and want to put my best foot forward. Death Knight on the move out, sold the Scroll of Town Portal, picked up the Rod of Necromancy and that Ritual Dagger, and is already on the move. Meanwhile, back off to the north side here, Lone Rifleman and shooting that Acolyte. Acolyte will be backing away. Paladin should be popping out here in just a moment. So Lone Rifleman here, Death Knight already out. And we see the Sea Turtle hatchling getting cleared out here. Well, one of the benefits for Undead, even if they do go for Crypt Fiends, is that they have access to that Rod of Necromancy, and there are, well, he needs ghouls in order to harvest any lumber anyways, so it's not in the same boat. As we're taking a look at the Paladin taking a little bit of damage here, well, taking all of that piercing damage, that heroic damage, however, that heroic armor does prevent some of that damage there as the skeletal minion still wandering around. Death Knight definitely leading out in this match already. In terms of hero level, already sitting at level 2. Paladin sitting at 1.7, not too far behind, and now bringing over to perhaps go after the Gargantuan Sea Turtle creep camp. That would be a little bit of a mistake, especially as the Death Knight is right there aggroing the creeps, and the Death Knight coming across. All right, we're going to see a little bit of damage. It looks as though that one peasant does end up getting taken down. Units are getting picked off left and right here. Death Knight, Ritual Dagger, still getting in plenty of heals as the Paladin has to be in trouble. Death Knight with that Unholy Aura able to run up and really just swarm out all of these units quickly. Are we going to see one low hit point ghoul getting taken out? No, not quite yet. We're going to see a Holy Light. Holy Light finishing off a ghoul instead of saving the Rifleman. Sorry, just trying to cut the losses as Starbuck teleports back home. He is not getting that weapons upgrade as of yet, trying to get more Riflemen, needs to see more units out on the battlefield, and is perhaps expecting a little bit of damage from the Death Knight to come across here. Interestingly enough, the Death Knight of Happy did sell that Scroll of Town Portal, even though he wasn't trying to go for an expansion. Militia now attempting to test the water is going to be forced to retreat back, as the Rifleman with only 400 range at this point and stage in the game, well, doesn't have enough range to really fight back against these early ghouls. If I was to say anything in terms of range, perhaps increase the range of those Riflemen from base range from 400 to 450, and then allow it to go up to 600 when that upgrade is done. So don't make it so nearly as drastic. Not nearly as drastic as from almost giving a 50% range increase. allow those riflemen to be more effective only as just tier 1 units, and don't unlock their real full potential at tier 2. As we see that, well, Sheep getting shot down there. Paladin doing a little bit of chase, not going to be able to do much, and now being forced to retreat back again. All right. Rifleman purposely aggroing the Ogre Warrior. Is he going to be able to get the creeps to try and perhaps go after the Death Knight? No, unable to do exactly that. Who's going to get the last hit on that Ogre Warrior? You can see that the Death Knight wants to launch a Death Coil, and there's just this little weird staggering motion. Who's going to get the last hit? And it is going to be the Death Knight again. Paladin was trying to get perhaps a little bit of the experience, or at least the item, as the Death Knight is just playing games with Starbuck. However, the Death Knight could end up in a weird spot there, ends up nearly surrounded by riflemen. That's not something you see, well, every day, let alone once a year. Very common, uncommon occurrence to see the Death Knight ever surrounded by ranged units, especially human ranged units at this point in the game. Now, Tech to Tier 2 is done. We do see the Blood Mage as that second hero. It is going to be that mana battery strategy. We're 6 minutes into this game, and both sides are just content of disrupting the other player. Happy taking this opportunity to really, well, Tech to Tier 3, and now he's also shooting a couple of those ghouls, trying to keep them at bay, getting in some free damage on those ghouls, as the ghouls do not regenerate hit points while they are off of Blight. Paladin still making its way over, getting in a nice couple of easy shots. Death Knight bringing in that Unholy Aura for some passive regeneration, as we're going to be looking at the Ogre Magi getting taken down. Level 2 now on the Paladin. We should be looking at Divine Shield breaking that connection there, as another Ogre Mauler gets shot down once more. Now, there's that Devotion Aura, a little bit of additional help there. Lich could try and go for a Frost Nova onto some of those units, as the Blood Mage tries to play that game, trying to, well, remove mana from that Lich. A little bit of cooldown issues, as the Paladin perhaps going to try buy Boots of Speed or some other item. Not quite sure what. Nope. Trying to buy something, but apparently just doesn't have enough money to go shopping just quite yet. There you go. Finally gets that Scroll of Healing. Coming back home. Well, Starbuck looking to, well, clear up this Gargantuan Sea Turtle creep camp. Gargantuan Sea Turtle creep camp, well, spreading damage across multiple units, as the Blood Mage now dances in front of that turtle. That turtle has no way to go. Holy Light saving there, as we see a Scroll of the Beast, not the item he was looking for. Dark Ranger now already trained up as well, so that Dark Ranger perhaps going to go for Silence first, being able to shut down that Blood Mage and any of that siphoned mana. Coming on through, 42 over 50 supply compared to 50 over 50. Unit's going to get ready to engage. We're going to see some Banish there. There's a Death Coil, and well, Banish onto the Death Coil. Perhaps he was expecting some more Holy Light damage or something of that effect, but we're not. And Starbuck, what is he doing? Actually towering Happy at the 8-minute mark of this game. Militia are nearby. There's a bunch of ghouls, and now the Riflemen, I believe, have that range upgrade, are just going to be trying to attack and perhaps do a little bit of fine-tuning. All right, we see a little bit of damage coming back across. The Scroll of Healing was not used in time. There's going to be another low hit point ghoul. It is trying to back away. There's level 3 now on that Paladin. Both sides fighting here. A Holy Light trying to save. No, unable to do exactly that, as the ghouls are swarming onto those riflemen. Meanwhile, more Holy Light. That's still good. A number of riflemen going after all of these units here, trying to perhaps get some upgrades on those guard towers too. Not quite sure why we haven't seen that yet, as the Blood Mage now siphons mana into that Paladin for more Holy Light. All right, it is going to take a little bit of time to walk that distance. Dark Ranger tries to break the connection instead of silencing, as the Riflemen with the Scroll of the Beast do have decent damage and are now pecking away at that Altar of Darkness. There's some more siphon mana denying the Death Knight, and this might just be the oddest timing attack I've seen in quite some time. Are we going to see some repairs? There are some repairs, but the repairs are not going to be enough to save one tower, let alone, two towers, let alone one, as the Riflemen are now still battling their way through. All right, I'm going to see a Holy Light onto that Rifleman. Not quite sure what the Paladin is doing. I thought he had the cooldown ready, just waiting for that Holy Light right there, as he's siphoning mana and shutting down the Dark Ranger. Dark Ranger, the silence not lasting nearly long enough, as we're looking at the units looking to retreat back again. All right, another Rifleman about to get taken down. No, he gets banished instead. Holy Light heals back up to full as the Lich is still battling its way through. Low mana across all of the units here. Paladin still getting some reinforcements and some additional Riflemen as we're still doing a little bit of poking again and again. All right, building up an Arcane Vault could be key. Paladin purposely staying back here as we're seeing more Siphon mana still. All right, the Skeletal Warriors are just trying to make their way through. Perhaps they want to be able to aggro a little bit, and I've rarely seen Happy actually cut back into this corner such as this. 47 supply compared to 43. There's some more Siphon mana. Rifleman about to get taken down. No, he gets Holy Lighted just in time. Couple of low hit point ghouls. Rifleman trying to get a little bit of separation. That Scout Tower gonna get cleaned up. There's level 3 now on the Death Knight. A ghoul gets taken down. And we're looking at still more damage getting racked up there. There's another Holy Light. Skeletal minions are dropping pretty quickly as we see another cancellation right there. Paladin and Blood Mage working together as Abominations are now trying to make their way across. There goes another ghoul. And we're still looking at a low hit point Rifleman trying to keep that distance and able to get enough separation. Lich gets up to level 2 as the Rifleman now gets blasted. 2-0 upgrades. There's another Holy Light. Blood Mage needs to give mana to the Paladin. Blood Mage sitting at level 2. If you can get to level 3, can drain more mana and then start shutting down the Obsidian statues as well as that Destroyer gets taken down. Level 3. Level 2 Siphon mana is now going to be onto the Death Knight. That's going to be much faster draining. And with that faster draining, well, more mana given and received. All right, coming back across here, Blood Mage now finally out of mana. Needs to be careful not to give too much mana to the Paladin, otherwise he cannot get another Siphon mana going just quite yet. Workshop now getting added in, perhaps a Clarity Potion on the Blood Mage, as the Paladin also has a Clarity Potion. Blood Mage trying to perhaps get some Siphon mana, does do exactly that onto the Lich, only to see that he gets silenced once more. Units trying to retreat back. Workshop still getting repaired. Units are going to try and fall back again. There's some more Siphon mana. Death Knight now down to 60 mana. I believe Death Coil, Frost Nova, Blood Mage now trying to survive there. Perhaps we're going to see a Holy Light again. Yes, we do, as we see another Siphon mana come across. All right, Skeletal Minions getting cleaned up by those Riflemen. All of that Rod of Necromancy just bringing up a lot of those Skeletal Minions, but the Skeletal Minions low on hit points and taking a lot of range damage from those Riflemen pretty quick. Blood Mage now trying to retreat back. There's another Holy Light right there. The Paladin has all of that Clarity Potion just constantly going for it. There's a Potion of Healing. Blood Mage now down to 112, 110, trying to retreat back. Are we going to see another Holy Light there? Silence onto the Blood Mage. Blood Mage will take the Holy Light and now perhaps going to try to dive back in once more as ghouls are now getting into position again. Difficult to see the banish on the ghoul, on the Rifleman while they're in the water. A little bit more as we see more, well, drain mana or Siphon mana again and again. There goes another Rifleman. Dark Ranger gets up to level 2, pumping mana into the Blood Mage. Blood Mage down to 250 after the Potion of Healing. There's level 4 now as the Blood Mage trying to retreat back. It looks like he will be able to do that, splitting the Riflemen back further. 37 supply compared to 40. More Riflemen making their way together, and they're going to try and regroup in this neck of the woods. Meanwhile, the Arcane, well, we're looking at a Workshop here. It is done, but no units being trained at all, as the Paladin could make its way back over. All right, Blood Mage continuing to do a little bit of poking, perhaps trying to drain mana again. The Blood Mage sitting at 145 mana, continuing this pressure as Skeletal Minions are popping on up. Using that Rod of using Black Arrows now. So yeah, lesser Dark Minions, it is going to be Black Arrows, which could in turn feed more experience for the Blood Mage and that Paladin. If the Paladin gets to level 5, well, that would just be an interesting predicament, as the Death Knight is only sitting at level 3, and very rarely does a level 3 Death Knight have to deal with a level 5 Paladin. All right, that level 2 drain Siphon mana really causing problems there. You can see that mana quickly depleting, now down to 0, as the Paladin needs to make its way back over. Perhaps get some Holy Lights, and Mortar Teams shows up onto the battlefield. That's not the unit I was expecting Starbuck to go after, especially with Destroyers already up in the air. All right, Riflemen, however, should be able to handle some of those pretty easily and pretty well, as the Scout Tower trying to get upgraded and will end up getting canceled out. Paladin comes back across, could act as that frontline wall again. We need to see a Holy Light onto that Rifleman to keep him alive and well, as the Blood Mage could have some bad days once more. Turn around and shoot this shoot and scoot method as the siphon mana going back into that Paladin once more. Blood Mage going to try and retreat back. We're retreating back all the way into the middle of the battlefield. There's some more siphon mana out of the Death Knight. Death Knight now low on mana again as the Rifleman trying to fall back. That one Abomination is just really causing a lot of problems as the Abomination tries to dive in. Destroyer ends up taking a lot of damage, needs to back away. There's another Holy Light as we're still fighting our way through here. Skeletal Minion going to get cleaned up. Are we going to see that Tome of Intelligence being used? No. Abomination finally gets the memo that, wait a second, I'm too far away. The reinforcements are a bit too far, but there's no way to stun or stop any of these units as the Rifleman coming back through again. Paladins, well, looking to finish things off here. Are we getting mortar teams? Yes, we are. There's some more siphon mana as, well, more blasts coming in. 47 supply. Blood Mage going to say, you know what? If at first you don't succeed, try again. There's those scout towers once more. They're going to be placed down quickly, perhaps get upgraded quickly this time into cannon towers or guard towers. Those would both work out well as the destroyers are now continuing just poke apart at those riflemen again. A lot of skeletal minions out here onto the battlefield. We're going to see some Holy Light trying to save again, and the riflemen are just trying to shoot and scoot and deal damage to all of these units here. Rifleman down to 156 hit points. He may end up getting taken down. One more shot. No, Holy Light saves again. So the Paladins Holy Light this unkillable army. Well, as I say that, Rifleman gets bursted down. No siphon mana from that Death Knight. Death Knight had used the potion of mana in order to, well, be able to get that 200 burst hit point damage spell off. Paladin back up to 220 mana again. We're going to see more siphon mana as the guard tower is finally getting upgraded here. There is a destroyer here. The destroyer could try and go after those fly machines, at least spot up onto the high ground again. Fly machine needs to back away. There's that mortar team again, as we do not see any ways to easily repair fly machines at all. Workshop now coming online. Or Workshop, a mortar team going to be coming online soon. There's another Holy Light finishing off a ghoul as the Paladin sits at 4.5. All right, Blood Mage continuing to battle it up here. Blood Mage does have level 2 banish. Mortar team is back out onto the battlefield. Blood Mage down to 165 hit points. Does a potion of healing first and is still retreating back and somehow stays alive. That mortar team in that front spot there, just a little bit too close to the action as the Blood Mage hides from behind the trees and is still able to siphon mana from those targets. Rifleman continuing to battle it up here. A new mortar team getting added in, 50 over 56 supply. Happy is trying to hold the door. The destroyers should be enough here. Peasants trying to fall back to destroyers and should be able to shut down to those scout towers again as we're looking at more damage coming across here. Scout tower being built a little bit further away, a place to at least fall back to or force the destroyers to try and commit a little bit further in as we're looking at the riflemen trying to back up again. All right, starting to split, getting a good semicircle. Enabling more focus fire. There's now 3 destroyers in the air, though, as the Blood Mage continues to fire back. Are we going to see another Holy Light? Holy Light there. That one rifleman about to get taken down to 35 hit points. It looks like it will fall, but no, doubles all the way back around instead. 47 supply compared to 44, as riflemen slowly replacing the ones that are lost. And, well, we may actually see an arcane tower get constructed. That arcane tower, once it's constructed, however, will have heavy armor, meaning that the destroyers are going to be able to deal fairly strong damage. Death Knight now running pretty much out of mana completely. And now are we going to see a Scroll of Regeneration or anything like that? Mortar team continuing to lob attacks again. Death Knight, well, ignoring those riflemen there as the riflemen need to come back across here. All right, Arcane Tower is done. There's some more siphon mana. Obsidian Statue, low on hit point, ends up surviving somehow. No easy way to target down those mechanical units as the Blood Mage with the long auto attack gets the kill finally. All right. Death Knight coming back across here. Are we going to see some more siphon mana? Yes, more siphon mana away again. Rifleman could try and, well, take down those destroyers. Destroyer down to 300 hit points, not getting focused. Rifleman instead retreating back again as that Abomination takes that frontline spot. All right, Blood Mage down to 200 hit points, down to 100. This could be bad. There's going to be a potion of healing. Needs to see another Holy Light as well as the Blood Mage, well, runs all the way to the very back and ends up surviving. There's a Siphon Mana again. Destroyer down to 110 hit points, but still able to stay alive as the Obsidian statues do their thing. Siphon Mana into the Paladin. Paladin could try to Abomination. Yes, does Abomination the Blood Mage, and now has access to level 3 Holy Light. That level 3 Holy Light opens up even more damage as the Mortar team, well, still continuing to put pressure again. There's some more Siphon Mana. There's a 600 hit point heal. Unit's trying to retreat back. Low hit point Rifleman able to fall back here as the Skeletal Minions just pretty much instantaneously melt. This is a weird situation to be in. The Skeletal Minions are actually giving a fair amount of experience, and that's the reason why it seems like the Paladin is set to, or gets to level 5, and with this, Starbuck takes out Happy using the invincible Rifleman Paladin opening strategy that you rarely see, coupling it with a tower attempt, and then using the map, Turtle Rock, knowing that the trees were there, being able to run around the trees and siphon mana through the trees, gaining a little bit more of a mana advantage. Once that Paladin got to level 5, unlocking level 3 Holy Light, it seemed like Starbuck started to, well, would be able to start snowballing even further, and that is what all it took. Thanks for watching, thanks for listening, hope you guys enjoyed it.